Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this series, I share my journey at Microverse as a Microverse student or as a Micronaut. This video is about week 13. It's the third week into React module in which we learned about Redux. So these are the tasks and activities we did this week. I'm gonna talk a little about Redux and then I'm gonna share my personal experience. Enjoy. As we know so far, React is a JavaScript library used for building user interfaces. It allows developers to create reusable UI components that update dynamically and efficiently in response to data change. The power of React comes from the fact that it uses virtual DOM to efficiently render and manage components, resulting in a faster and more responsive user interface. Redux, on the other hand, is just a state management library that works well with React. It helps to manage the state of your application in a predictable and centralized manner. One thing with Redux is that it uses a unidirectional data flow pattern, which means data will always just flow in a single direction throughout your application. This makes it easier to understand how data changes throughout your application and helps to prevent unexpected bugs. Three advantages of adding Redux on top of your React application: centralized state management, predictable data flow, and time travel debugging and developer tools. Now this thanks to the unidirectional data flow. So since it's unidirectional, that means always you can trace it back and you find what was the application behavior or state in a certain time. The disadvantages: increased complexity, boilerplate code, which just means the additional code for actions, action creators and reducers, and the learning curve. Since Redux has its own set of concepts and patterns that developers need to grasp, to understand, to be able to implement it efficiently and effectively in their application. This week was pretty easy for me. I managed to finish all the projects since day 3. And here's what I did. So in the first day, you will have this tutorial that's almost 2 hours long. This tutorial alone is enough to do all the week's projects. However, you need to approach it in a smart way, okay? You don't really need to watch all of it in the beginning. What I did, I watched almost like the first 30 minutes of that tutorial. I created the repository and I added the code and the files, etc. After that, I stopped and I went back and I tried to understand more what I did. At this point in the tutorial, already it showed how to add the store, how to create reducers, and how to add even the action dispatch. So I tried to understand it, between me and myself, again from my code, and I tried to mimic what he did in my project, and it just worked fine. In fact, we were not asked to do the action dispatch in the first project, but I was already done with it, which even gave me more time. Now, the third project was about connecting our project to the API. Now, I went back to the tutorial and I went straight to the API section of the tutorial. And again, I followed what happened in the tutorial, tried to understand it with myself, and I just mimicked or tried to mimic in my project, and it just again worked fine. Here's my bookstore. As you can see, you can add the book name and the author only. Now, the thing is, I showed you this project last week, but I came to know that we were not actually asked to do the styling from last week. So this is another thing that saved me tons of time this week. Anyway, so this is all connected to the API now. This list is saved in the API. We can remove, we can add. Now, if you notice this really cool loading wheel, as you can see it again, no one asked me how I did it. At this point, it's just a meme. I linked down my repo, so you are welcome. So anyway, this is the project of this week. We are adding the books into the API and we are getting the list of the books from the API. in conclusion, this week was very nice for me. I'm really enjoying my journey so far. I'm coming like 13 weeks, so I'm about halfway now, and it's really fun, a lot of fun. So, however, don't forget that experiences are subjective. I had partners who struggled this week. I struggled in weeks that my partners found as piece of cake. After finishing, I struggled a little in time management, so I feel like I could have done more in the extra days I had, maybe having a head start in the group project that we will have to do next week. But it's alright. I will try to be more careful next time. I won't. But anyway, finally, don't forget the like, subscribe, and notifications bell. If you have any questions or any feedback, add a comment. Connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. Have a beautiful day and happy coding.